This is an MVP podcast, My Village Productions.
Welcome everybody.
Nope.
To the Lazy Watchers.
I hate that. I don't like that at all. Is that the intro?
Why did I turn into like a genteel Southern lady?
I don't know.
Sudden?
Like,
all out of breath. Welcome.
yeah, you hit start and immediately ran out of breath. We should keep this in here.
This is what a 30-year-old theater kid looks like. He just goes into like character.
Yeah, right. Like no
Random
prep
character.
either. We were talking normally, and then he hit the record and immediately ran out of breath.
Absolutely. That's called method acting.
Oh no, I don't think. And are we supposed to be out of breath on here?
No.
Let me just.
We're lazy, so maybe.
We are lazy, yeah. Hence why this is the Lazy Watchers.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Lazy Watchers, a podcast where we watch only the first and last episode of a show and then we rate it. I'm your host, Andy.
And I'm Eli, and this week we watched Alice in Borderland. Is that what it's called? Alice in Borderland.
Yes. But before we get into that,
Yep.
I want to play a game.
I do.
So Sip and Tea podcast has been doing this thing where they play a game before they get into it. And I thought, hey, fuck it. I want to get in on this.
Yeah.
I want to
why
play
not?
a game. Let's do it.
It's fun. And so the game that we typically play is we just ask, we each choose one question and the other person has to ask it.
Okay.
The question can be, kind of silly, or it can be serious, or it's just anything in between, right? It can be completely random.
Completely random.
So, in honor of this, how about you go first?
Okay. What would happen?
Okay?
What would you think if you woke up one day
Okay.
and you were the only person on Earth?
Only person on Earth.
Only person.
I probably... Okay, would I come to this realization, like, immediately?
No, you wouldn't. No, because I mean, other than it's your regular day to day, right? So you live here, you live with who you live with, and you wake up and they're not here. So initial thought might be like they're just out.
That would be, because I was going
Right.
to say, if it's just me and my household, I probably wouldn't know for weeks.
Right, right.
Because I don't leave my house during Rona.
But I mean, also you live with people.
Yeah, so that would be weird. I honestly would be very startled. And then, I don't know, I probably would try to figure out what happened to everybody.
How long do you think it would take you before you realized that like you weren't receiving any text or emails or phone calls?
I think it would probably... It wouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
Because, one, I live with my future husband and our friend who just moved in with us. So, like, just the fact that they're not here with me,
Right.
that would be a red flag. And then me calling him and him not answering his phone, that would be... But obviously, I guess his phone would be on the nightstand. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah, right.
So I'd probably start driving around, and then that's when I'd probably start realizing that nobody was
Yeah,
around.
because there's no traffic
Yeah.
and,
And in this scenario, I'm just assuming there's, like, cars, like, crashed into stuff.
Well, sure. Because, people disappeared.
Like... end gaming this situation.
Yeah.
Piles of dust everywhere.
You want the full ordeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want Thanos to be the reason.
Yeah, right. But for some reason, you got skipped over.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the only one in the universe.
Yeah, right.
Can't get me, Thanos.
Squeezed through the crack.
You're right.
Would that mean that maybe he made a mistake and there was like one other person somewhere?
Maybe. But then, like, would my new BFF, would they be like an alien from a different universe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'd have to see. Thanos.
That's an interesting question. Thanks for that, friend.
You're welcome. What do you got for me?
All right. So, put yourself in this situation.
Okay.
Many celebrities have tiny little real teeth under their large, perfect fake teeth. Take a second and think about all of those little teeth. What would it be like if suddenly all of the celebrities lost their big fake teeth?
And they all had tiny little teeth?
Like little nubbins. for teeth.
I would hate that.
Wouldn't that be so weird? I didn't realize that celebrities had fake teeth.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
What?
They wear it's like a veneer on their teeth.
There's all celebrities?
I don't know about all celebrities. But why
I get that celebrities will get their teeth cleaned way more than anyone else.
Fucking think about it, because we started watching Grey's Anatomy, rewatching it.
Yeah.
And Isabel Stevens has the biggest buck teeth I've ever seen. The teeth look too big for her mouth. And I was like, are those fucking veneers, dude? It doesn't look natural.
Weird.
Her teeth are too big for her mouth. And so I was like, is that a veneer that she's wearing?
Yeah.
Because that would make sense why everybody in every movie and TV show, they always have perfect pearly white teeth.
I just figured that was just because they're rich and
they have
they had the money to go to the have the dentist come to them so they could clean it every at least
day.
Once a week, right?
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's honestly how I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would just schedule an appointment to have some guy clean my teeth for me.
Weird, right?
That would be freaky.
Now
That'd
I don't
be
know
a
if
new version of a pandemic.
Now I don't know if I can trust anybody. I don't know if this is real. This is also a list of 55 most thought-provoking questions to make you think.
Yeah, to make you think. But
I don't know.
Where's
if
the
that's
fact
true.
check on that one?
I want to know if it's real. I'm going to meet a celebrity. I'm going to pull on their teeth.
You should tweet that, and then Twitter will tell you whether it's fake or not.
I don't do Twitter, so you tweet that and let me know what they say.
Okay, I'll make sure to include this clip, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect,
for sure.
Perfect. Oh, man. All right, everybody. So let's get back into the purpose of our show. It's to review the show that we watched.
Yeah, first and last episode of Alice in Borderland, a Netflix original series.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Shot in Japan, and also, we watched it with dub. We tried with sub as well, but it was just too far off.
Bruh, those...
Do they not communicate? I would think that if you're doing the dub in English, send the English dub to the caption, the sub caption.
Yeah.
People, so that way at least that part lines up.
The captioning was so off.
Yeah, even off from what they were saying in the dub.
I think we had the captions on for a smooth 30 seconds, and I literally turned to you and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I like watching shows with the sub on.
Me too.
But yeah, that would have made me just hate every bit of it.
Yeah.
Not saying I didn't, but
so this was a popular graphic novel or manga comic book.
Graphic novel.
Well, because technically in the opening credits, it did say based off the graphic novel Alice in Borderland.
Yeah, they got to be fancy with it.
Yeah.
They're not going to say...
Well, it's also to make it more Americanized, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You say graphic novel in America, people are, I don't know what it is, but they're you say manga, and they're like, that's not American.
Yeah, I know lots of people that can make the sound.
That's what grumpy boomers sound like.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, that's all I hear. If you're a boomer and you try talking to me, all I'm hearing is
a lot of finger pointing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Always got to use the fingers.
Absolutely. But no, the show was interesting.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with that first episode is it is a 15-minute cold open where you're following three characters.
Yeah. Yes.
And you're kind of realizing that they all have problems.
Right.
But 15 minutes before the opening credits.
Yeah, it was bad. I thought, honestly, we were 5-10 minutes in. I was like, okay, maybe it's one of those shows where it's they don't do the intro on the first one.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty normal to do, where it's you're trying to introduce the story.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, the intro will kind of give away stuff that's going to happen.
It'll give it away. The introduction sequence is probably very expensive to create.
Yeah.
So for pilot episodes, it would make sense to me. Even if you just flash the name of the series up on the screen, that would be your opening credit.
Right. Kind of like Schitt's Creek style or whatever, something really super short.
Yeah, but no, it was 15 minutes and then we had a full minute and 30 second
intro.
intro.
Yeah. It was a cool intro.
I liked it.
I'll give it that. It was really cool.
Didn't know what it was about.
No idea. The concept of this show is, and it kind of relates to the question that I asked, where these three guys are, in like having a crisis in their life, essentially, like losing their job and, whatever, and then they all like meet up because I guess they're buddies. Yep. Crisis.
I got a soundboard, y'all.
Yeah. And if you're watching the video, there's GIFs that pop up with them.
You're welcome.
No.
It's going to be Eli's nightmare.
Yes, it already is.
He's been praying to Jesus that I do not figure out how this works.
I told him that it was something that he could do, but I didn't really tell him how.
He made me figure it out on my own.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And I did.
Audience, we lasted a while, so I'm so glad you stuck it through. We'll see you never.
Wow.
No, so it's basically they're out in the middle of the street, and then I guess it's like crosswalk or whatever, and I guess it was time for the cars to go, and so they were trying to get out of the road.
Yeah,
and that, I mean, sure, you're standing in the middle of the road about to get hit, so like get out of the road, but then like police started like showing up, and they thought they were being chased by the police, so they.
I mean, they caused an accident.
They did cause an accident, for sure.
Maybe they would?
They would probably get a ticket or something, but they acted like they were going to get, like, arrested.
Yeah, I don't know how that works in foreign countries. Maybe they would have gotten arrested. I don't know. If anything, they would have gotten arrested for causing the accident. I could see that happening. But, like, the number of police that showed up.
Yeah, there was like 6. It was like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
And then like 2, I feel like there was like another one in the subway.
Which, I mean,
I don't know.
Shibuya is like a very poppin' place, right? So I imagine they would have a pretty heavy police presence there, but like
it just seemed a bit extreme.
A huge group of cops for like 3 really scrawny dudes that you probably could just like flick.
Yeah, so their way of avoiding the cops was to run into the men's bathroom into a stall.
Okay.
A very small stall.
Because I was like, nobody thinks this is super sketch. 3 guys walking into a public bathroom stall together.
Yeah. And I was like, and a cameraman.
Stupid.
It was a small stall.
It was. They were all crammed in there. And then the one guy who seems to be... His purpose was to be like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
And maybe it was lost in translation, his humor.
Yeah.
He was more annoying to me than anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I will chalk that up to probably it was lost in communication. He probably was like supposed to be like the jokester of the group.
Yeah. And it was interesting, that part, and then all the power turns off.
Yeah, they hear the lights click off, and then it gets silent.
Yeah, dead silent. And so they come out, and there's nobody except for the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. And then they like ran around the town for a while. There was a lot of silence.
It was weird.
There was a lot of like awkward silence moments.
Yeah. I didn't. So they all try to go around and they're investigating, right? Because obviously Japan is very highly populated.
Oh yeah.
They're in like downtown.
Yeah.
Like
there were hundreds of people in that in that initial spot.
So for it to just be empty, I get it. You want to go investigate. You're looking around. The thing that was confusing to me, and I turned to you and I said, why do the cars look like they're not just stopped, they're like paused? Like they were in motion and they like somebody pressed like the pause button.
Yeah, right.
That was weird to me.
Yeah, like it didn't seem like so my initial thought was, oh, well, they probably just went until they stopped. Mm-hmm. Right? But then there was like a taxi that was turning right, and it was just like dead stopped in the road.
Yeah, that was.
And then there was a crash in another scene where that clearly could have been where they went until they stopped. It was very confusing.
It really was. They did not really explain that very well.
Yeah, right. And then after a while of searching, they go back and sit in the road.
Which is also weird. So
Andy was trying to chalk it up to symbolism.
I mean, because all the characters up until that point, they were at like a crossroads in their life.
Right.
The jokester guy, I don't remember the character names. We rarely do on this show.
True.
The jokester of the group, he said that he wasn't going to pay for that lady anymore.
Yeah.
He went and got her money from the ATM. The bad guy, like, of the group, like the bad boy of the group.
Yeah.
He was kissing his boss's cousin at the bar that he worked at, so he got fired.
Yep.
The main character, I think his name was Hirasu, something like that.
I don't remember.
He was like the video game kind of nerd guy.
Yeah.
He just got kicked out of his parents' house because he
thought it was his brother.
Brother. Well, the dad was there too. That's why I was confused.
Oh, true.
He just got kicked out of the house because he's kind of a freeloader. I mean, like, his brother's setting up interviews for him and he's not going. So they're like, I'm done. Like, you need to grow up.
Yeah.
But his video game knowledge comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because as they're sitting in the middle of the road, one of the buildings all of a sudden lights up.
Yeah.
And it just says game.
Well, it said a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the only thing in English and the only thing that they read was game.
Yep. And then it said, it had like an arrow, right? It said game starting soon or something with an arrow.
Yeah.
So they started following the path. And as they were walking, like, signs would light up with like arrows pointing.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. Like, it was like you were stuck in a video game.
Right.
And we've all been there when it's like the beginning of a video game and you're just kind of like walking around. And then like the game has to be like, no, go this way.
Yeah, right. Or it does the thing where it like just blocks off, like, think about like Destiny 2 open, right?
Yeah.
You can only go this area.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere else.
Yep, exactly.
So
Interesting. It was very interesting. So they get to this building, and it's called the Game Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And they follow the signs and everything, saying go this way. And then all of a sudden they come upon an elevator. But as they walk towards the elevator, they cross into like a grid, almost like a laser grid.
Yeah.
And that like scans the person and identifies them as a player of the game.
Right. And
Interesting.
Yeah. And then they pick up cell phones.
And this honestly, that from that moment, like when they walked into the game arena, that is actually when I started getting really intrigued because I wanted to know.
But it took
what
so long.
25 minutes.
So fucking long for them to get there.
It did.
And I was sitting there, I was like, are we really about to watch them for 45 minutes, sit in the road and talk about what happened? I'm like, seriously?
I think I turned to you and I was like, I really hope that they introduce the game in this episode because if not, we're going to be really confused in that last episode.
Yeah, I mean, we were, though. We were anyways.
We were.
So, but they get to the room where, like, it scans them in, whatever, and they pick up phones and they're like, it has facial recognition. Should we trust these? Like,
well, one guy's like, do we use these phones? And I was like, yeah, you probably should use the phones.
Probably. Yeah. No, I just love that they're freaked out by the facial recognition because it's like, well, everything.
I mean, that is weird, right? Because like it shouldn't know your face.
No, true, fair enough, but
I guess when they walked through that grid, which I don't think they realized that they walked through a grid.
No, because from the camera angle, there was no grid, but it did like a close up of like where the grid markings would be.
Yeah.
And they didn't actually see the grid until they got close to it because they threw a badge through and it immediately like got incinerated.
Yeah.
Not incinerated, but perfect bullet headshot on the badge.
That kind of made more sense as we watched the series because how it would kill people would be like the laser would come from
the sky through their head.
And it would just be a perfect...
True. And so they didn't actually see the grid till they got up real close and obviously didn't attempt to leave it.
But my thing is wouldn't it not be necessarily like it wouldn't attack an inanimate object? Wouldn't it just attack a person? Or is it just anything that leaves that area? It attacks.
I don't know. I mean, it recognized the face on it.
Oh, maybe because it had his name badge.
Yeah,
that's right, and it was perfectly on his face.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, you're right.
That'd be the thing.
Solving problems.
That's just how I would think of it. Definitely. Honestly. So They start like in this building, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a couple different shows, movies, whatever. I remember watching one where it was like, so basically what it is they have to they're in this square room.
Yeah, building.
It's like what was it, like 6x6 or something?
Yeah.
So there's two doors. One says alive, and one says dead. They have to choose the right door.
Yeah. So naturally, they want to go for the alive door.
Yeah, because they want to be alive.
Yeah. So what was interesting, and we didn't learn about them until the last episode, is I think that lady that showed up, I think she was one of the dealers.
Probably.
Because she didn't want to open the doors.
Yeah.
She convinced one of the characters to open the alive door, and she walked in and she got.
Yeah.
And that was the purpose of the dealers in the game. In the game was that they essentially wanted to please the game masters by killing people.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, exactly.
And get them to play the game that they've made.
Yes.
So I think the lady that was in that building with them, I think she was probably a dealer.
I think so as well. Yeah.
Because she knew a little too much information.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
she came in and immediately knew what game it was and that you couldn't leave or else you would die. Like, how would you have known that?
Yeah, exactly.
No one would have known that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was a bit interesting. But they start to figure out the puzzle of like, okay, like here's a map. It's a square building. These are square rooms.
Yeah.
So there should be a door here and a door here. And we know that this way's a trap, and so this way can't be.
And every room that they entered, so the first one they started off with 2 minutes, and every room thereafter it deducted 10 seconds from the clock. So,
and if
the next
they
room
didn't
they had
get out,
50.
it started filling with gas, and then it would light on fire when the timer ended.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, it was insane. The amount of production money, I can't even imagine.
Pyrotechnics alone was probably ridiculous.
Oh my god, shutting down the street
Well,
alone.
if it was real, it was probably CGI, I imagine. I don't think that was real fire.
Well, I think they probably
it might have been like one.
I think they set up one room.
Oh, you're right.
And then just changed the angle of like where the door was or something. I bet that's all that they did.
Probably. It was interesting. I really liked it. So they got all the way to the end, and then they receive a card.
Yeah.
A playing card.
A playing card.
And it was a 3 of clubs or something.
Yeah. Because that was the level of that was like, when they got the phones, it said that this was a 3 of cards room.
Yeah. Clubs.
Whatever.
You said cards.
Whatever.
But yeah, and that's what's interesting. So all of these levels are based off of playing cards. This is all that we really know.
Yeah.
Is that all of the levels are going to be based off of these playing cards, and then they collect the cards at the end of every level.
Yeah.
Don't really know what the cards do. The cards are very heavily like there in like the opening credits.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's the first episode.
That's the first episode. The only thing that I would add is that there was a person that they saw after they exited the building.
That's right.
That was a bit older, and he was going on about the game like he had already been in it for a while.
Yeah.
And then he basically said, like, I give up or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
And then a laser came down and killed him on the spot.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then that was the end of the episode.
Yeah. Based off the first episode, would you continue watching the show?
It's kind of a 50-50 for me.
Okay.
Because while how it would play out would be pretty good to see. Like, I would honestly maybe watch it like in the language that it was filmed in, and then watch it with sub.
Okay.
Personally, just because the voice actors like didn't match the character.
Yeah.
Like this was filmed in Japan, so it's like that. Like everyone, and it's like they have the whitest.
Yeah,
voice actors, and it just like hit a desync in my brain where it was like the voice like severely doesn't match.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even close.
It really wasn't. They got a couple of the characters right in the last episode.
They did. But yeah, I definitely, like, if I was to watch it, I would watch it like in the language that it was filmed in. Which I want to say Japanese, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure it is Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume it's in Japanese because they're in Japan.
Yeah. Japanese. Yep.
I think the reason they do that is to make it more relatable to the audience that's watching. So if you're watching it in English, they're just assuming that you're a white person.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
It's stupid.
I think that's probably why they do that. But
and
I
honestly,
agree. It's weird hearing a highly white, like, Karen's voice coming out of this, like, young Japanese lady.
Yeah, and like when I watch, like, I don't watch very much anime, but when I do, I always watch it. I try to not watch the dub version.
Okay.
Just because the sub usually is not bad. Like, you can still, like, get the entire story, but I feel like then you like are hearing it how they're trying to say it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I don't understand the language, whatever it's in of, that show, but I still like to know that, so I know, like, okay, they meant to put, a certain emphasis on, like, certain words and things like that, even if I can't, you can piece it together better.
Yeah, definitely.
But it just kind of adds to, like, keeping it connected, and then it's like just quick reading, like, what are they saying? And then kind of doing your own translation of, like, okay, this is, like, how they were taking this.
Yeah.
So you got to work a little bit harder, but I feel like it adds to the story more.
Yeah. Definitely.
Personally.
Short and sweet. I would watch it again, or I would continue watching. And I think it's because the game really intrigues me, and I want to know how it plays out.
Yeah, it is intriguing after you get past the first 15 minutes of the opening. But obviously, we don't watch episodes in a row, so we watched the last episode.
Yes, we did, and let me tell you...
Holy crap.
Confused.
Everything changed.
So much confusion.
Other than they were still in the game.
Which obviously people who are watching are like, well, duh, it's confusing, you idiots.
Yeah.
You watched the first and the last episode.
People actually get mad at me because we do this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like...
Well, because we ruin shows.
We completely ruin
ourselves.
it. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm
like,
also...
people get genuinely upset. They're like, that totally ruins it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fun.
It is fun. It's fun to ruin your day.
It's really great. So if you're trying to watch this show, spoilers.
Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about the last episode. So we're at this place called The Beach, and it's like a cold fucking open to just, like, everybody's at gunpoint.
Well, 50% of them have guns. The other 50% do not.
Yeah. And they're all trying to find somebody called the Witch.
Yeah.
And from what I can piece together is, like, they think the quote-unquote witch is responsible for what's happening to them.
Essentially, witch equals game master.
Yeah.
Is what they're looking for.
Yeah. So there's this one guy, he's like, think of, like, Vin Diesel from, like, Fast and Furious, but then he's, like, a Japanese man.
Yeah.
He's like this, he's really muscular, he's, like, way taller than everybody else. Tank top. He's, like, all, like macho, right?
Yeah. Like bodyguard style.
Yeah. He's... Smooth takes like 17 bullets in this episode.
Oh my god.
And
like,
still
it
survives.
Was insane. Like, okay, so they spent a whole bunch of time, like, deliberating. The main character that we saw from the first episode kind of gives us backstory on the fact that, like, his friends are dead.
Yeah.
Completely dead. And he's basically trying to convince this main macho guy that, like, the witch is dead.
Yeah,
because the main macho guy was like, "I'm the witch."
Yeah,
and the main character was like, "No,
you're not.
You're not. She's right there on the floor.
She's dead
from the knife that she used to kill herself."
Yeah, and we learned that because her name Momoku or something like that. I think her name was.
That was Momoka. Because then I made a mimosa joke.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
She. At the very beginning of the episode, we do see some cell phone footage that her and this other lady filmed right when they seemingly, I guess, got into the game.
Yeah.
And because they had their phones that they, quote-unquote, said they found.
Yeah, right.
And they're just walking around and exploring. And the video is, like, spliced, so it's like it'll cut off, like, mid-sentence.
Right.
And so they're kind of exploring, and then it ends with the girl who killed herself with... that they think is the witch, going down into the subway, and it's pitch black.
Yes.
And then that's how we get back to this, like, the beach is what they call it. I don't know why they call it
They were
the beach.
in beach clothing too, which is confusing because I didn't see no damn beach.
I was expecting for there to be like a pool
This
party.
is like middle of Japan. Like, where's the beach?
Where is the beach? I mean, they have beach.
They do have beach, but
They have beach.
I did not see no beach.
No, they were in a building called the beach.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. I don't know why.
Dress for the occasion.
Maybe if we watched more.
Maybe. Maybe.
But I mean, it all comes down to they figure out who the game maker was, and they take them. And I guess once you find the game maker, you have to burn them in the flame of judgment.
Yeah.
So they take who they think the witch is, and they burn her, and then they all think that. Well, I guess they do win. Technically, they win the game.
Yeah. I mean, it
'Cause
says game cleared.
And then we're just kind of brazing. We're just like really gonna blaze through this
Yeah.
episode.
I mean, a lot of it was just them like talking and fighting
so
about the witch part.
yeah.
And then like fucking before that happened, before it said game clear.
Yeah.
Some fire just hits the building.
Yeah. That was
just
weird.
came out of nowhere.
That was weird.
They were like, "Oh my god, the fire's spreading!" And then suddenly the entire place is on fire.
They literally were
And
having
then-
a conversation, and then like flames were around them. And
Just
they're like,
everywhere.
the fire.
Yeah, like as if that was there the whole time. We were like 30 minutes in at that point.
Truly.
And then also, while that's happening, some fucking crazy person comes out of the shadows. Everyone has pistols, by the way. Every single person that were holding their guns had pistols.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes out with a fucking Uzi
Yeah.
and like yelling about something. I don't
Well-
even remember.
So it's like they started screaming out the fire. They started running away, and then somebody immediately gets shot. And
Yeah.
you're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, right.
And then that's when he like emerges from the flames, and he's all burnt,
Yeah,
and he's just shooting people.
yeah. Like Luke Skywalker style burnt. Like,
Weird.
yeah.
It was so weird.
And he comes out with an Uzi.
Yeah.
And he was yelling something and basically said, "I'm going to kill everyone." And then
Everybody.
just starts spraying with the Uzi.
Yeah, it was intense.
And then frickin' Macho Man just starts running at him
Japanese Vin Diesel.
and just takes like 15 bullets.
Yeah.
Doesn't even, like, he does a little flinch like that.
And then he like tackles him and like throws him back into the fire.
yeah,
It was weird. That was a weird scene.
it was real weird.
I don't think I liked it.
I don't understand how he survived those bullets.
Me neither.
Everyone else went down immediately.
They got shot once and they were like, ugh, dead.
yeah. I'm an extra.
Truly. So they burn
The witch.
the witch, and it says game clear. So then it shows the main character and his friend, I can assume.
That's a female
Yeah.
that only has the lines of yelling people's names.
That was wild.
Throughout the entire episode, all she would do
was scream his name and like run to his aid.
yeah, every time that he got punched over by frickin' Macho Man.
Yeah.
And then, like, we get to, like, that fire scene where they're all standing, like, in a stadium format, essentially. Like, you know, if you're thinking, like, high school football where they have,
Yeah.
like, the bleachers, but concrete instead of metal.
Yeah.
And they're looking at this fire, and she finally has, like, a line of,
she
like,
wants to kill
actual
somebody.
dialogue, and she wants to kill someone.
Yeah.
Because they killed so many other people.
Yeah.
Main character stops her.
Yeah.
But that guy gets down on his knees.
Tries
and
to shoot
uses-
himself.
Yeah, and uses his gun to try and shoot himself, and it just clicks.
Yeah.
And then he looks at it, and then that's all we see.
Yeah. So I'm assuming because they cleared the game, like their guns don't have bullets anymore.
That would be my assumption. Or they just turn into like blanks or whatever.
Yeah, it was weird.
But then we never went back to that.
No, we didn't.
He
go
just
back
said,
to
let
that.
it go.
There was
And then,
no explanation.
no, absolutely not.
So it shows the two of them watching the cell phone footage that we saw at the beginning
Yeah.
of the episode, and this goes into where the two females that we saw at the beginning of the episode, they are what they call dealers, and they help the game makers kind of push people through the game, and essentially the game makers want people to die.
Yeah.
And it's
if
like
the
for their
dealers-
entertainment.
If the dealers get found out, they immediately die.
Yeah. So that's how the one lady, she essentially revealed herself to get everybody's attention, to make everybody stop fighting, and then she got lasered
Immediately. Yeah. She screamed, "I am a dealer of this game."
Yeah. So then when it goes through and they explain that, we were approached by this person and they wanted us to start playing the game and we started working. And then she goes into she explains how everything works and how the dealers work and the game makers and all of that. And then as they're walking through the subway, they come across a door, they go in and they find Game Maker HQ.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
they're all making bets fucking casino style.
Oh, they're loving it. They're they have thousands of computer monitors all around
Vegas in there.
Yeah. Just watching people play the game.
Yeah.
And cheering and screaming when people are dying. It was kind of really weird.
Yeah. Misogynistic.
Yeah. So then at the end, the two main people, they go and because they know where that room is now.
Yeah.
Because of the video. So they go, and we can assume, you put this together, that everybody died, all of the game makers died because they were found out.
Yeah.
Because they were exposed through the video.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole deal, is once they were exposed, they died.
Yeah.
So everybody that was filmed in that thing were dead. So everybody on the computers, they got there and they're dead.
Yeah.
And then there was another two people that I'm assuming they had a bigger part in the middle episodes.
Yeah, because they seemed like main characters.
Because they were like, I knew I'd find you here. And I was like, who the fuck are you?
And how did you find this?
Truly, who are you? And they have this whole dialogue. And then all of a sudden, the screens light up and it's announcement. And it's this really crazy looking lady. And it looks like they know who she is. They said her name, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, she's the game master.
Yeah. So now we have our target.
Yeah.
So basically, they got all of the cards.
All of the
number cards.
Numbered
and
cards.
The ace. I swear he had the ace in his hand.
Yeah, I think he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now they're looking for the face cards.
Because some people say it's ace through
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other people say it's 2 through 10. So I think I saw the ace.
Yeah,
as well
I'm
on
pretty
his deck.
sure he had the ace.
So she announces that, as their reward for clearing the game, they now have to go through a new set of games that include the face cards.
Yeah.
And then it shows them in the same crosswalk in that first episode.
That they got back to real quick.
They really did.
They just appeared there.
They transported.
Yeah.
And these huge blimps were coming into town
Out of
essentially.
nowhere.
And they were holding giant face cards.
Yeah.
And that to me is, I think. So did you notice that the games were primarily at night? Mm-hmm. Or it was always night there?
Yeah.
And at the end of the first episode, they showed the lasers beaming up into the sky. So I think all those lasers indicated the different games.
Oh, okay.
And so I think the face cards with the blimps, they were hovering over certain buildings because I think that's where they have to go to meet the face cards.
Interesting.
Or to win the face cards.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my theory. Interesting show. It got renewed for a second season. We're thinking later 2021, early 2022.
Yeah, so you can actually see an Easter egg when you're looking at the blimps.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah, I only found it because I was watching a video.
Okay.
But there's actually, when you look at the blimp that comes in, there's a poster on the building to the left that says something about coming 2021.
Okay.
So there's actually an Easter egg where they were like,
so
if we renew 2021.
Do you know what's funny? Is I saw the poster that said 2021. Mm-hmm. But I just saw 2021 and I assumed it was a car ad or something the 2021 Acura or
playing the which brand sponsored this game was great.
Truly.
We got Forever 21.
They were in every scene when they were downtown.
Starbucks. We got fucking everything. BMW,
Visa, MasterCard.
It was even in the first episode. He was like, "Yeah, there was a BMW 328D out there."
Yeah.
Okay,
and then they showed the back of the car
and the side of the car and the front of the car. It was the amount of advertising in this was insane.
It was. Well, it's Netflix, so it's to be assumed.
Yeah, but it was not hidden. Netflix at least tries to hide their shit typically.
True. All right, so let's go down the ratings really quick.
Yeah, intro.
I gave it a solid 8.
Yeah.
It intrigued me.
Yeah, it was a good intro for sure.
My only gripe with it is that why is the music so loud?
Oh my god. It was like we had it at a regular volume for watching it.
Yeah.
And then the intro was like
It was so intense and so loud.
Yeah,
it was too much.
It was a lot.
And I hate shows where the music does not match the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves because I don't want to have to sit there and be like turning the volume up and down.
Right. It's
Hate
an
it.
interactive show.
Gets you moving. My fingers are real strong.
Yeah, right. But no, I give it a solid 8. It was a good intro for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Characters.
Characters, I'm going to give it, I'm going to keep an 8. I'm going to give it a solid 8. I find it hard to judge too harshly because it was originally made in Japanese and we were watching it in English. So it's hard for me to grade it too harshly.
True.
Because we saw the aftermath of like voice dubbing.
Right, yeah. The voice dubbing was bad. But yeah, I mean like I'd say like 8.5.
Yeah.
About the same deal there. I mean, the characters themselves had stories behind them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's still really strong. I think that maybe in translation some of it got lost.
Okay.
Or seemed a little boring, which is why it's not like a 9 or a 10 for me.
Yeah.
But or maybe that's just how it was written in the manga.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like 8.5 because it's like it's decent.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. In terms of the acting, I think the actors themselves
did a good job.
I
would give them a 9.
I would give them like almost a 10, honestly. Like they really did a good job.
Yeah.
But it because
The voice
acting in oh my god, I cannot speak. Good thing we're doing a podcast. Acting includes voice acting.
Yeah.
And because we're watching it naturally how Netflix wanted us to watch it with English dub, it brings it down.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
So I would honestly bring it down to a 6.
Okay.
Because of the voice acting.
I would go 7, 8, somewhere in between there.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, if we watched it in Japanese just with sub, then it would be up there for sure.
Definitely.
But we watched it naturally how Netflix said. We didn't change any settings.
Yeah, we just said play.
Yeah.
And it played it for us in English.
Yeah. So that's how we're rating it.
Yeah.
So
fair.
How was it given?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Plot.
Plot, I would give it... I'm going to give it a solid 10. It's interesting to me.
I give it a 9.
intrigued.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good plot.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good plot. I mean, the concept behind it is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're pulling it straight out of a graphic novel, so
Yeah.
they already have a baseline of where they want it to go. Like that's not being lost over the episodes.
Well, to our knowledge, because we haven't read the graphic novel, so we don't know if they like glamorized it or if they
for sure, everything's
added or
not going to
took
be
away.
the same.
Yeah.
But I think from what we saw, at least like there's like it's solid. Like it has a backbone to it already.
At least they didn't whitewash the fuck out of it like they did Death Note.
Oh my god.
Bleep bloop. I should have that button. Bleep bloop.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhangers. I would give it it's high up there, an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
Good cliffhangers. I mean, I wanted to watch the second episode after that first one.
It's true, yeah, because at that point, you've only really been introduced to one game that's happened. So
and now we know there's a game for every card.
And you see the laser come down, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, you really want to go into it. So, yeah, I'll give it a 10.
Yeah. And in that last episode, the cliffhanger for season 2, highly intriguing.
Yeah.
That lady was creepy as fuck. We got the introduction of the face cards.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know they would. We kind of knew they didn't exist because that last level was a level 10.
10 of Hearts.
Yeah, 10 of Hearts.
So
game.
yeah, we and they had mentioned like the face cards haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
So
the random people that showed up at like HQ and they're like, I thought you'd be here. That was them. And they're like, where are the face cards?
Yeah, right. So it's like some idiot where's my DLC? But no, the cliffhangers were really solid. Like, I think overall, this show is good.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
The only thing that really brings it down for me was the 15-minute cold open in the first episode.
Yeah.
As well as just the English dub.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, I will probably watch this, but I'll probably watch it in Japanese and have the sub on.
Definitely. Yeah, I recommend it. It takes a lot for me to get into things that are dubbed in English, just because typically the mouth not syncing to the words really bothers me.
Yeah,
and I focus on it, like I hyper focus on it, because it makes me think that I'm buffering.
Yeah.
Like my stream is buffering.
Yeah, like audio's just desynced or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So it really bugs me. But Netflix actually has done a pretty good job with their shows that they've crossed over from different countries. So definitely check it out.
It's really up to opinion there.
Yeah. If you can handle it, watch it.
Yeah. If you're one that naturally watches English dub, like totally, it works. We still got the story out of it.
Yeah.
It's just, my personal opinion, I'd rather have the sound match with the voice.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's just how I watch it.
Yeah.
But overall, 100%. Good show. I recommend.
Check it out.
Check it out. Get through the 15-minute cold open, and then it picks up. I promise. Just got to suffer a little bit.
Definitely. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of The Lazy Watchers. You can follow me on Instagram at MVP Andy.
And you can follow me everywhere at Eli Seipert.
Yeah, buddy.
And TikTok.
Oh, jeez.
And TikTok.
Make sure to follow our show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at The Lazy Watchers. And then you can also subscribe to our show. Please subscribe to our show on YouTube.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
We need people. We need sponsors like how they did it in the show.
Not from Forever 21.
Damn.
Follow our show on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
This has been an MVP podcast, My Village Productions.